and welcome to another video. If you saw this video, then you know that my boyfriend picked my TBR for the month of February. And so in this video that you're about to watch, I am going to be reading those books and doing a little vlog about it. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to sit down with my boyfriend and get him to guess what I thought about the book and what I rated the books. And normally I tell him about all the books I'm reading. Every day, I'm like, this is what I read today, this is what's happening. But for these books, I'm not going to give him any kind of updates about my thoughts. His only hints are if he notices how long it takes me to read the book, or if he sees me physically react to the book when I'm reading next to him. I did actually already start The Martian. I think I started The Martian on Monday, February 5th, and today is February 11th. So I have been reading it for a minute, and I just haven't felt like starting this video. If I'm being honest with you, I've been having really bad eczema flare-up on my hands, and I've been too insecure to turn the camera on. But I'm on page 302, so I'm close to the end, so I need to start this video and start talking because there's only 420 pages in this book, I think 435, I think. But yeah, so I'm a good chunk of the way through this book now, so I have thoughts. If you don't know what The Martian is about, basically the US is sending astronauts to Mars to do astronaut-y things, collect dirt and do experiments and whatever astronauts do when they go in space. And so this group is on Mars and there's a storm and one of them gets injured and they think he's dead, so they evacuate and leave Mars because they can't stay. They have to evacuate. Well, it turns out he's still alive and his name is Mark Watney. I think that's how you say his name. And so he wakes up and he's only slightly injured, so he's fine. And he has to figure out how to survive on Mars alone until he can be rescued. And yeah, that's what the book is about. And I really did not think I was gonna like this book because I'm not really into sci-fi. I'm not really into space. I'm just it's not really my thing, but I actually really like it. I'm very pleasantly surprised at how much I'm enjoying this book. I just all I want to do is read. I all day long, I just think about getting home and sitting down and reading this book. I'm really enjoying it, and it is very science heavy. A lot of it is science descriptions about what he's doing, and there's math and he's explaining it. And so it's very science heavy, which I thought I wouldn't like, but it's fine. And the way it's written is it's he's writing in a journal basically. He has these logs. So first chapter, first page, it says log entry Sol 6. So sols are days on Mars, and it's slightly different than days on Earth, lengthwise. I don't remember the conversion. So Sol 6 is, I think, his first day alone, or when he wakes up, or when they, whatever. And so every chapter is well, actually it switches mid-chapter too. This is mid-chapter and it switches, but it's just what he's doing day to day and how he's trying to survive. But it's written him talking because his journal, and he is very sarcastic and witty and just dry humor. He's so funny. And so it's him explaining the science things, which means you can understand it. And I only have a little over 100 pages left. And yeah, that's my update. I'm sorry I waited so long to start the video. But yeah, so I would like to finish this book today, but it's almost 2 o'clock and the Super Bowl is tonight. And yes, I am that girl. I'm watching it because of Taylor Swift. So I am going to try to watch the Super Bowl is what I should say. I still think I'm going to get bored of the football and probably end up reading. But anyway, I don't really have anything planned for the next few hours. I've already spent my whole day so far cleaning, and so I'm just going to sit and read the rest of the day probably. So I really hope I finish this book. And yeah, so I'm gonna go back to reading now. like I said, he's so funny, and there's so many times I'm smiling all the time, and I'm literally like snickering and laughing out loud because I think he's so funny. I'll shut up and stop saying how much I like this book, but I like this book a lot. Hi, please ignore my post-shower hair. Hello, Lily. But today is Monday, February 12th, and hi, baby girl. It is after 8 p.m. I am just sitting down for the night now, but I am ready to read. Last night, I did end up finishing The Martian. I watched the whole Super Bowl. Chiefs won. Go Taylor Swift. And then I stayed up late to finish The Martian. And I'm not going to talk about my final opinions right now because we're going to do that at the end of the video when my boyfriend guesses what I think, and then I'll tell him. So I don't want to be like redundant. But I am going to start the next book. So the next one I'm going to start is I'm Glad My Mom Died. Because I don't know, I'm just in the mood to start this one tonight. So that's what we're going with next. So if you don't know what this book is about, it's Jennette McCurdy's memoir. She was a child actress when I was a kid. So like, what years was she active? Like 2010 era, around then, whatever. Anyway, so she was a child actor, but her mom like forced her into acting, and her mom was like mentally and emotionally abusive. So this is her memoir talking about her mom, like, I mean her, but like what her mom did to her and how that affected her. And yeah, so that's why the title is the title, just in case you didn't know what this book is about. So yeah, I'm excited to get started. And I have a little old man right here and a little old lady right here. And I'm sitting up uncomfortable. So I don't know if they're gonna let me get more comfortable, but I'm gonna try. Okay. Come back. Got my old bitches right here. Bailey, don't look at her. All right. Hello, I am sitting on the floor because I don't feel like making my tripod taller. Anyway, it is Saturday, February 17th, so it's a few days later, and let me get the book I'm talking about. Okay. So yeah, I got to the halfway point, and I'm glad my mom died last night, like in bed. So I'm now on page 158, chapter 46. That's about halfway, I think. So I just want to give like a little like halfway update for this book, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I thought I would. Like, I think I would like nonfiction if I would just like sit down and read it, but I just can never make myself do that. So I am glad that my boyfriend made me read this month because I'm really enjoying it. It's very easy to read in the sense that it like flows really well. Like the writing is very easy to follow, and it's written like, you know, like a novel's written. It's like in like present tense as she's going through her life. So it feels like you're reading a novel. And so it's easy in that aspect to get through, but content-wise, it's definitely not easy to read. I will put trigger warnings on the screen, but her mom is very not using this word lightly. Her mom is insane. Like, she is unhinged. There's so many things that I could like diagnose her with that I'm just like, wow, she's a narcissist. Oh, wow, she's this. Wow, she's that. You know, like she's like insane, and it's crazy that she treated her daughter that way. And so this book is very interesting to read. To like, I don't know, that people like that exist and that people are treated that way. It's very eye-opening and fascinating to read, but it's also very heartbreaking to think about a child going through all of this. And yeah, so that's my update. In the book, so the book starts when she is like 6 years old, and that's when her mom gets her into acting. And then right now where I'm at, she's 18, I think. And yeah, it's very interesting. I'm really enjoying the book, and I'm excited. It's weird talking about such like a heavy topic, because it's like I'm very intrigued and I like can't wait to keep reading, but I'm also like horrified about like what else is gonna happen. But I'm hoping by the end of the book there is closure, and that she has like at least started healing from how her mom treated her. Like, I don't know if you ever really get over being abused and treated that way as a kid. Like, it's something I think you probably have to work through like your whole life, but hopefully by the end of the book there is some kind of closure for her, and that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. And yeah, that's my update. I don't know if I'm actually gonna get to read any today. I'm about to go to my grandparents' house to have like a little get together with the family, and then we have people coming over to our house later tonight to watch something, like a sporting thing. I don't know. I'm just there for the people. I don't know what we're gonna be watching. So I'm probably not gonna actually get to read any tonight. But I just want to give an update while I'm at that like halfway point, and then I will let you know when I finish the book, and I will pick my next book to read for this vlog. My hair's a mess, and that's just how it's gonna be. So today is Thursday, February 22nd, and I'm glad my mom died last night. And then tonight I am starting Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I've been wanting to read this book for a while, and I've had it for a while, and I honestly have forgotten what it's about. Okay, so from reading the book real quick, it seems like the main character's name is Chloe, obviously, and she's like chronically ill. She's a computer geek, you know, she's like lived at home her whole life, and now she's basically has like a bucket list of like bad things she wants to do, like enjoy a drunken night out, ride a motorcycle, go camping, just like stuff that's like stuff she hasn't done before. And so she gets this guy, Red, like that's his nickname, that's the quotes, Red, his name's Red, whatever. Anyway, she gets him to help her like complete these things, and I guess they fall in love. I don't know, but that's what this book is about, I guess. And yeah, I'm excited to finally read it. Like thing in between sections, you know, when it's like, it's not a chapter break, but it's like a break in between sections. Okay, thanks, Lily. It's a cute little kitty cat. Isn't that so cute? It's not like I like cats or anything. Why is this book targeting me? So her sister calls her and she wants her to go out for the night. Too late, Chloe interrupted dryly. My pajamas are on. I'm finished for the night at 8:30. Do you know what time it is right now? Hi, we're ignoring the fact that my hair is only half done. I just didn't feel like finishing it. But today is February 24th. It's actually my anniversary with my boyfriend. We're about to head out and do some things for the day. But I did want to give an update about Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I am on page 201. So I'm like halfway, a little over halfway. And I have some thoughts now. I have mixed feelings about this book because There's a couple things I had mixed feelings about. So it's kind of like enemies to lovers. They were like very, like they hated each other when the book started. And it's just, I don't really like the way it's doing enemies to lovers because like, don't get me wrong, I love enemies to lovers, but I like it when it's like they hate each other for whatever reason and then they like slowly get to know each other and then it like the hate breaks away and then they like love each other. For this book, it just feels like they hate each other, but they're just like attracted to each other while they hate each other. And it's like, I don't really like when people are attracted to someone they don't like. Like the people who were like, oh, she's a bitch, I'm so attracted to her. Like that's just weird to me. And both characters, it feels like they're both like sunshines, but like with each other they're grumpies, and it just feels like weird. Like they're just completely different people when they're with each other, and then they're both so attracted to each other, but they just like act like they hate each other. Like it's just a very weird feeling, and that's like in the beginning. So like that feels weird to me. And then another thing is just like the language used in relation to their body parts and like sexual actions, and it just feels very crude and vulgar and blunt when they are describing those things, and it just really takes me out of the book because like this is a romance book. Like this, it like look at the cover, okay? It's a romance book that has spice in it, so it's like fine that they like talk about that stuff, but I think it's just like the language used is just like it's in both points of view, so they're just like having a conversation. And like I said in the beginning of the book, they like strongly dislike each other. And then all of a sudden they're just using this vulgar language to describe how they physically feel about the other person. And it just like pulls me out of the story because like for me, I like I've said this before, I really like mushy romance. I like that kind of romance. And there are moments of that in this book. There are definitely moments where I'm like smiling and giggling, but there's just not like enough of that for me. And this is of course like a personal preference. So it just really takes me out of what I thought the book would be going into it when language like that is used from both of their points of view. And like I don't know, I'm enjoying the book. I don't dislike the book. I do like both of the characters, and I'm interested to see what else happens, how they fit together, you know, all that stuff in romance. Like I do like the book. There's just like these things that are like sticking out to me that like I dislike right now, and like I'm halfway through it, so like the like enemies to lovers thing is of course starting to change since I am halfway through it. But I don't know, maybe it's just the writing. Maybe that's just the writing style that this author has, and maybe it's just not for me. But I'm gonna keep reading the book because like I said, I do like it. I'm just like, there's things about it that I'm just like, about, like, you know. But my goal is to finish this book by tomorrow morning. So I have like 140 pages left, I think. 169 pages. Of course it's 169. That's how many pages I have left of the book. So I'm hoping to finish it by tomorrow morning. But like I said, it is our anniversary today. So we're about to go out and do some like thrift shopping and go a few places. And then we have dinner reservations for tonight. So yeah, that's what I'm up to today. I don't know how much reading I'll get done. I did read about 80 pages like this morning already. Okay. So I'm gonna stop the reading portion of the video there. Like I said in the TBR video, I thought I would only get 2-3 books anyway, so that's where we're at, and that's fine. I'm just not gonna get to Golden Son, which is fine because he didn't read Golden Son this month either. I read like, I'm like 4 hours into the audiobook. But did you read any this month? No. Okay, no, that's fine. Yeah, that's fair. So, a refresher, I read The Martian, I'm Glad My Mom Died, and Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which I just finished last night. By the way, today is February 25th. Did you mention the whole anniversary thing? I did, yes. Yeah. We've been together 5 years now. As of yesterday, 5 years. Yeah, so yesterday she spent like all day reading while No, okay. So I read like 250 pages yesterday, despite the fact that we were like thrift shopping and craft shopping and went to dinner. And then he put together my birthday present, which I'll talk about another time, and a book. I gave him a bookcase for our anniversary for our board games. Yeah. So we put that together. So we had a productive day yesterday. Anyway, back to the purpose of this video. I think I laid this out at the beginning of the video, but basically, as I was reading these books all month, these are the books he picked for me. I did not tell him what I thought as I was reading, which was really, really hard to do because I love talking about the books I'm reading. And it was hard for him because he wanted to ask me.
Yeah, I kept being like, what do you... Never mind. Yeah, you can't tell me what you think.
So he is going to guess my opinion and star rating for each book. And then I'm going to tell him what I thought.
So she did read to me a couple of the lines from I'm Glad My Mom Died as she was reading them. But
With
it
no
was...
context.
Yeah, no context. And it was only like 2 or 3 lines, I think.
No, there was one that I hysterically laughed at. And I was like, I'm going to read you
been...
this line but not tell you anything else.
Yeah, she's been quoting me that one line over and over again. It's the, like, you don't need their...
Okay, like, no context for the book, so, like, spoilers, if there are spoilers in a memoir. There's the line in the book that's someone talking to her, and the line is, you don't need therapy, not if you have Jesus. And I thought that was the funniest thing I've ever read in a book. So anyway, enough of that.
She said it like 4 times today.
I literally did.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with The Martian because that's the first book that I read this month. And he has read this book.
Yeah, it's the only one that I've read. Yeah.
So, what do you think I thought about the book and what do you think my star ratings are? Rating is singular.
It's a good book. Mm-hmm. But like I said in the video where I picked it for you, I don't know if it's your kind of book. So I'm giving away a star rating and just what I think you thought.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you're going to give it like a 3.5 or a 4 because I don't think it could get higher than that. I think 3.5 is what I'm leaning towards.
Okay.
Because I think you'll be like, I recognize that it's good, but I don't like it that much. So I think that's where you're going to rate it. And between a 3 and a 4, I'm leaning towards middle of the road, 3.5. Thoughts on the book. So I think that you'll like a lot of the sections where he's sort of dealing with the isolation and sort of working through the mental stress side of things. But I'm guessing that when it got to a lot of the more in the weeds, like technical details of how he was going to do things, I'm assuming it's sort of those parts I'm guessing didn't hold your attention as well, or you didn't enjoy those as much. But it could be wrong. So that's where I'm sort of guessing with The Martian.
So you're guessing, what you said, 3.5?
3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you ready to hear what I thought?
Yes.
I love this book.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I really, really loved it. I did not want to put it down. Like,
Okay.
every day at work, I was thinking about coming home and reading this book.
Okay.
I found that the science talk was easy to follow. Like, he explained it pretty well.
Yeah, that's something I really liked when I listened to it originally, is even, like, listening and not being able to reread sections. It discusses, like, scientific concepts in very, like, accessible ways.
Yeah, so I thought that was all really interesting, and I felt like it was very educational. Because, like, reading, like, the history of the author, I feel like it would be pretty accurate what he was saying. So it was really educational. I thought the main character was so funny, and he's so sarcastic, so snarky. I loved being in his head. I really, really loved this book. And I mean, I finished this book. I stayed up past midnight to finish this book when I was almost done with it. Remember, you were sleeping when I finished this book.
I'm happy now. That was a good choice then.
So, I was debating between 2 ratings, but just, I liked it so much, I want to give it 5 stars.
Really? Wow. That is more than... It's also been like, it's been like 4 or 5 years since I listened to the audiobook for this. So I don't even remember a lot of the books. So I couldn't remember personally how accessible it was when it came to a lot of like the math and science parts of it. Obviously, it's still written so that like everyone can read it. I mean, like I could read it and I don't know that much. So like it couldn't have been too bad. But even if it is accessible, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's always interesting. But I'm glad that it was for you. That's great.
Yeah, I guess this is my first 5-star of the year.
That's awesome. You have to read Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
You have to read
I was just so surprised because going into this book, I was like, this is going to be such a drag. I'm not going to get through it. But literally from the first, like, soul, I was, like, hooked. Like, I was into it. I think a big part of it is the main character's voice coming through. Because, like, I enjoyed the points of view where it was, like, people on Earth trying to figure out how to help him. But I just want to get back to him and his, like, sarcastic. Like, I don't know. I really liked it.
Yeah. If you think that The Martian may have been a 5, if you're, like, on that edge of whether or not you think it's a 5, I don't see a world where you don't put Project Hail Mary as a 5. Because it is all of the stuff that's good about this book, plus a lot of elements that I think you specifically will really like.
My birthday's in a few weeks.
Hey, there we go.
You know I love getting books for presents.
One more thing to add to the list.
But yeah, I owned, like, this is a book I own. Like I said, I got it in like a used bookstore just because I never would have read it. I never would have read this book, and I actually really enjoyed it.
Wait,
So.
did I buy Project Hail Mary physical?
No, I ended up looking through your books and I couldn't find it. So I was so sure you had it, and I cheated.
I was too.
I don't, unless you have it somewhere else. I don't know.
I do have some books stacked up downstairs on a shelf.
Like regular books?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's down there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
my books are all over the place. I'm not organized.
5 stars.
That's awesome. I'm really glad you like that.
All right.
Maybe
So-
you can get an edition that doesn't have Matt Damon's face on the cover.
I mean, it was $1. I might have even been 50 cents.
Yeah.
I literally got it because I was like,
Hey, worth the 50 cents though.
no, can we watch the movie now?
Yeah, the movie's pretty good too.
I really want to watch
Yeah.
it now. So anyway, the next book we're going to talk about is I'm Glad My Mom Died, which is Jeanette McCurdy's memoir. And I've seen other booktubers do this where they don't give memoirs and stuff like that star ratings because it's not fair to rate someone's like life experience. So I am going to do that, but I am still going to like talk about my like opinions of the book, like what I thought. So what do you think I thought about this book?
I think you also really liked this one because, no wait, you're not giving it a star rating, so I'm not going to do that. But I think you liked it because you kept quoting it to me. And to me, that means that if it, at the very least, it is memorable. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say that maybe you enjoyed the writing style because it's very humorous, but maybe some of the specific content, if that makes sense, maybe some of the specific things that it discusses, maybe you didn't agree with or didn't 100% agree with at the very least, but it was still, I think you enjoy the writing style because it is very humorous. You obviously kept quoting it to me, so on some level it means that it connected with you. At least that's what that would mean to me. So that's sort of where I'm placing it.
Okay.
At least that's what I think.
Ready?
Yes.
I really like this book.
Okay.
Okay. So like I said, it's like kind of hard to talk about a book you're not going to give a star rating to.
Mhm.
But I really, really enjoyed this book. I thought it was very, very eye-opening to the middle chunk of the book when she's like on iCarly and Sam and Cat, which was from when she was like 14 to like 21 or something.
Yeah.
So it's a big chunk of her life. So, and the book starts when she's 6.
Mhm.
And then I think she was published when she was about to turn 30. So
Mhm.
that was a large chunk of her life in the book. And that's like how I know her is from iCarly. And to like know her character on iCarly, the whole time I was reading about what she was going through in real life, I was thinking about her on the show. And obviously she's playing a character, but like you would never look at her and think she was experiencing everything she was experiencing. And I thought that was very eye-opening that like you really don't know what someone's going through
Mhm.
at home. Like we know nothing about celebrities' lives. And not even just celebrities, like your coworkers, like you don't know what they're going through at home either. Like it was just so eye-opening to like see like what someone could be going through at home and how they portray themselves to other people.
Mhm.
And I thought that was very interesting. And I did like the flow of it was very easy to follow. Of course, there are really hard topics in this book. So like, of course, it was like not easy to read that way.
Mhm.
But I really enjoyed this book. I wanted to just come home and read it. Like I really
Yeah.
enjoyed this book, and it made me want to read more memoirs. Like
Okay.
I do think I'm going to start reading more of those because it was
That's good.
very fascinating.
Because you saw Matthew Perry's.
Yeah, Matthew
memoir,
Perry's to
yeah.
read. There's memoirs that I'm thinking about that now I want to read because
Mhm.
of this. And not giving a star rating, but I would recommend that you read this as long as you're okay with the trigger warnings, which again I'll put on the screen. I thought you were choking her for a second.
You really need to get a close in on her face right here because she's precious.
So yeah, I would highly recommend reading this as long as the trigger warnings are okay. And the 1-star reviews make me so angry.
Oh, there are 1-star reviews of this?
Yeah, which I'm not gonna get into all that during the video,
Oh, okay.
but like just to think that you can give someone's life story a 1-star, like who do you think you are?
Yeah.
That'll be a rant for later. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this book, and now I want to read more memoirs.
Yeah. Okay, well that's good. That's good. So for this third book, I'm at like a severe disadvantage, I think, because at least I got to be with her in the room for at least a good chunk of reading those books. And I was in the room with her when she read a lot of this book, but a lot, like, the time scale for this one, she,
I
like,
binged
blew through this one. And the thing is I also I don't know whether she binged it because she enjoyed it so much or because we're filming this video today. So I don't know it. Normally, if she binges through a book in like 2 days, that's a pretty easy sign of, oh, she really liked that book. Obviously, if she just read it really, really fast. But because of this timeline, I have like no gauge on the experience of this book. So it's a total shot in the dark.
So the next book we're talking about is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. This was the romance he picked for me to read. Again, very nice of him. Yeah, I started this Thursday, I think. I'll have to like watch back the clip, but I think I started Thursday and I finished this last night. I stayed up past midnight reading it last night. Like I said, I read like 250 pages yesterday. Partly I really wanted to finish this book so I could film this video today, but also romances are really easy to like breeze through. So
is this the one that's the first in a series where each successive book is a different sister?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought, because you've talked about that before. And I keep thinking that you have already read part of that franchise.
Yeah, I haven't.
But I think I'm getting it confused with, and you said this is like every romance franchise, to be fair, but there was like one specific one that you read recently where it was like multiple people in a friend group where every book was a different person.
So vibe, I still can't say this without you giving your opinion. Vibes I was getting from this was reminding me of When in Rome. Because When in Rome, the first book is about this guy, and then the next book is about his sister.
Okay.
And then the next book's probably going to be about another sister.
Okay.
So it was sort of reminding me of that. Like when they were introducing the sisters, I was kind of getting vibes of when he introduced his sisters in the first book, and then they had their own books. Like that was the vibes I was getting from it. Like it was reminding me of that for some reason. So it might be that one you're thinking of.
That it could be that one.
I can't think of any other romance series I've read recently.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so what do you have any opinions on what I thought?
I legitimately, I'm gonna guess that it's a romance, so it was at least a 3.5.
Okay.
And that's about all. I mean, that's really all I have to go off of, because it's like I got no clues. For the other books, I at least like, she wasn't telling me what she thought, but it at least had some clues based on just being around her while she was reading them and her like trying not to talk about any details outside of it, because I feel like there's a certain way, there's a difference in the like, I'm frustrated, I can't tell you this. But even when you say that, there's like a different ways that you say it where it's like, oh, okay, she's frustrated because she can't tell me this because it's a good thing or because it's a bad thing. And I didn't get any of that for this book. So this is a complete shot in the dark. I'm just going to go 4 stars just because I feel like that's usually your baseline between 3 and 4 stars. So that's my guess, 4 stars.
So when I did my like halfway update yesterday, I kind of only said negative things.
Oh.
Because I'll like briefly describe it for you. But basically, they're like enemies to lovers.
Okay.
But like for them, they were like just so negative towards each other, but they were so attracted to each other.
Oh.
And then another thing, like writing style wise, is the language used in relation to like body parts and like sexual actions was very vulgar.
Mm.
And it really took me out because this book it's not like a smut book. It's a romance book.
Yeah, that's weird when you see.
I don't know if part of it was because I think the author is British, like it's set in the UK. Like I don't like part of it could be like language like between countries, but it was just extremely vulgar and it just pulled me out every time.
That's really weird because looking at this book, like I get like, and this is someone who doesn't read romance, so like I don't really know, but I get like level of like spiciness for this book. I would get like Hallmark movie with a little cayenne on top. That's what I'm feeling.
Like so like books with like these kind of covers can get spicy, but there's spicy and then there's spicy with crude language.
Yeah, it's
like a difference.
There's a certain like grunginess to it that you're describing that you don't get.
No, it like so took me out. And it's one thing if it's like dirty talk during sexy times. Like it's one thing if language is used like that, but it's like in their thoughts.
Mm.
When they're thinking, like, I don't know, it really took me out. So anyway, I only had negative things to say about it yesterday. That's the halfway point. But I feel like the second half, it didn't like erase that, but I do think it like made me like the book more. Okay. Because refresher, like the main character, the main girl, it has like chronic illness.
Okay.
And so obviously she has a history with people treating her differently because of that. And he does not do that. Like obviously there wouldn't be a love story if he also did that. Yeah. So it was like watching her learn that she could be treated as a person as she deserved. So that was nice. And then this isn't on the back of the book, but like the author's note is kind of like a trigger warning page, so I'm gonna mention it. And the guy has a past relationship that was abusive. And so he is like coming to terms with that and
Okay.
talking about it. And I really appreciated that representation in a book that like men can also be abused, both physically, emotionally, like sexually, like any way, like men can also be abused. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's not really represented very often. So that was nice to see in this book. And I like the way they handled communicating about it and stuff. So like those things made me really like the book. And once they did start falling for each other, I did like those parts of the book. So I feel like that the second half made up for the things I didn't really like about the first half.
Okay.
I don't
So
think
sort of
it
evened out.
erases it. Like there's like I'm still not a huge fan of the writing style,
Yeah.
but I do think I want to give the second book a chance
Okay.
because I ended up really liking the second half. Like I literally read the second half in a day. You
True.
know, like I didn't think I was gonna finish last night. I thought I was gonna finish it this morning, but I ended up just reading it. Like I go to bed at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Which I mean, we were out late last night because of our dinner,
Yeah,
but
we went to bed at like,
we went at 1.
yeah, it was,
Which is really late for me.
which is
but
a little early for me, actually.
But like the fact that I didn't finish reading this book until after midnight, that I was up like that late. Like if we got home, I don't remember what time we got home, but I didn't sit down to start reading until after I would normally start getting tired, and I was still able to read for like 3 hours. Like
Yeah, because I started building the bookshelf.
oh, I took a video of you building the bookshelf, so I can see what time I sat down to
Oh,
read.
okay. Because yeah, I started building a bookshelf at
Yeah, so we sat down to read. It was 9:11
9.
is
Okay.
the time. So
So
like
yeah,
after
9
9
o'clock.
o'clock. Normally, I've like put my book down by 9 and I'm
Mhm.
getting ready for bed and I'm in bed, possibly to read more, possibly to watch TV, like, but I'm like done on the couch or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's when I started reading last night, and I did not put it down.
See, I was in the zone. I was like building
No, I know
things.
you
I
were.
was like organizing stuff. And then you're like, it's almost midnight. And I was like, oh, I thought I'd been here for like 45 minutes. But it had been like 3.5 hours or something.
So I feel like with the fact that I was able to like I said, romance is easy to get through, but I was like really just like went right through it. I think 4 stars for this book.
Okay. Okay,
Because
that's what
that's
I
what you
guess.
said,
So
yeah.
I'm fine with that
I was
number.
sitting between 3.5 and 4, but I really liked the representation in the book, and I did end up liking them together. Like I said, the second half made up for the first half. So thank you, 4 stars.
Okay.
And I do want to get the second book. I'm not sure if I'll like the other sisters as much as I like her, just because I can really relate to her, like chronic illness.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a web designer.
All
That's her
right.
profession. So I felt like I couldn't relate to how like rich she grew up. I did not grow up in a mansion, so I couldn't relate to that. But so of the 3 I read, this was my least favorite, which is
But it was a
funny.
4.
the fact
So-
that the romance was my least favorite of the ones you picked.
Yeah, if you had asked me the order of like how much you liked them when I assigned them,
Yeah.
it definitely would have been the exact reverse order. I would have guessed you
Like
would have
this
liked
one,
this the most. That's
then
the
this,
middle.
then this.
Then this, but it ended up being this middle.
Okay, well this is
least.
still the middle,
Yeah.
but yeah, this
But
definitely
that is
like
reverse
yeah
order.
no.
Yeah.
This was my favorite. This was my second favorite. This was my third favorite. If I had read Golden Sun, that would have been my fourth favorite. That would have been dead last.
You don't know that for sure.
But
You don't know it for sure.
yeah, you actually did a very good job.
You should let me pick all your
You
books.
should. I'm definitely gonna do this another month.
Yeah,
and let
'cause
you
I'm-
pick books because you actually did such a good job.
Listen, I have good taste. What can I say?
Which I mean, part of me like I do tend to rate books a bit on the like higher end. Okay. I think this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do I have final things to say? Thank you for picking those books. I really, really enjoyed them. We're gonna have to do this again.
Shout out to Andy Weir. You made my girlfriend like sci-fi.
Ow, Lily, it's my arm.
You
She
okay?
went into my arm, dude.
Jeez. Yeah, let me see.
She like hooked in. I'm bleeding now.
Have I already showed people the
No, you
holding her
haven't.
like a baby? What I like. This is my baby.
Yeah, she doesn't let me hold her like that.
Do you see what she's doing
I
right now?
literally put a blanket in my lap so she wouldn't dig her claws into my legs, and she said she dug it into my arm.
Look at her little gremlin face.
Yeah, she's adorable. She just has long claws.
Thank you.
Anyway, thank you for watching. Maybe you'll watch something else. I swear, I mean, I talk a lot, but I feel like when he's here, it goes off on a whole other tangent that I usually do not go off on. So, watch some of my videos about him. But you can also watch him in 2 other videos so far that we've done together. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and
Say bye.
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 Her face was just like,
Okay, are we done?
yeah, we're done.
Okay.
buddy. Just. Is that better? Are you gonna stop wiggling your butt now? Okay, let me read now. Like, I'm smiling all the time. I forgot my water. Lily, release. Release. Oh, release. Wait. Give me 2 seconds. Okay.
Oh, Lily, your butthole's on display, baby.
Oh wow, it really is. Let me.
If you could just twist around, thank
Can
you.
you see the audio? Let me look nice and scholarly for the video.
In your Weezer sweatshirt.
Yeah, like a scholar. I don't know, dude. Shit.
PBR video.
On the
Siri.
mental.
Girl.
Baby. No. No, I'm just gonna see if I. This is for bloopers. I'm gonna see if I can get her purring. Okay, we'll see if that came through.
Okay, so sit back down so I do my outro.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize I was also here for the outro. Ah.
Why would you not be here for the outro?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't here for the intro.